Hey everybody, Krystal Gamer here with a new build for you. But before I get into this, man, I really wish I could turn this music up because it's just, I got so into this stupid music. I don't know. It's one of those repeats, same things over and over again, but there's just something about it that's like really jamming. And I think it fits the Cemetary vibe very much. And speaking of, this is a cemetery, by the way. And you probably saw that on the title anyway. So yeah, something new and different. Of course, everything I do is new and different because I keep changing up and doing something different every time, really. I don't know what I'm going to do when I build like every kind of thing there is, once I've built every sort of different type of establishment and I don't know, every type of thing there is. I don't know what I'm going to do. Just rebuild and make new ones, I guess. I don't know, but I seem to be going through and trying kind of everything out there. So I decided to do a cemetery. This is a little bit, I don't know, it's a little bit kind of like the weird sort of cemeteries that you see in Louisiana. And I've seen a lot of different type of cemeteries around. I've been to a lot of different countries. I've been to a lot of different states. And I've seen a lot of different types of cemeteries. They really run the gamut. There's all kinds of things out there. So I decided I wanted a couple of buildings on this one. This one here is above ground and it holds a couple of caskets and it's meant to hold, I don't know, we'll call it the wealthiest family in the town. So it's got a couple of caskets of really prominent members of the town. And then there's going to be another gravesite that is the town's founder, the area where he's buried. And so he's like really revered in all of this stuff. And so you'll see that later. So that's one of the things that happens. And this one here, this is the wealthy crypt, I guess. And then there's another building that I create, and that building is basically just for stairs that go down. And I make this area downstairs that is pretty much all urns. And so it's urns, and then it's got a storage area for kind of ratty caskets, like just where you, I guess, would store people temporarily, or maybe where, not where, I guess you wouldn't store people in caskets temporarily. Oh my God, that would be bad. All right, don't mind that. That was some kind of weird Freudian slip of something. I don't know what that was, but I'm such a fruitcake. Anyway, no, what is it? It is a storage facility for, I guess, caskets that they wouldn't be people what's the word that I'm looking for? There's a thing that I'm looking for. I'm so bad. It's when you don't know who the people are. That's what I'm looking for. And there's an actual word for that when you don't know who the dead people are and they're like random dead people, and they have a word for that. And one would think I was 80 with Alzheimer's because I forget words all the time. I lose words all the time. I don't know what happens, but hopefully you guys know what I'm talking about, because there is a certain name for that. Like when you don't know who died and they have caskets and stuff and they put them, I don't know where they put them actually, on unmarked graves or something like that. But yeah, that's called something. And so I have a storage room that's down there that holds some of those caskets that would be like for unmarked people. Although this cemetery is kind of small. It's only on a 20 by 30 lot, but I've done so many like really large lot builds. And if someone wants to download like all of my builds, I didn't want to do yet another really large lot. I wanted to do something a little bit smaller. So I don't know. I was tempted to do a larger lot, to be honest with you, because I really could. I could probably, well, if it's me, you could give me a 50 by 50. You could give me a 64 by 64 lot, and I could probably fill it and make a big cemetery out of it. And it really doesn't matter the size of the lot. I've heard some people say that they're like intimidated by lot size. I've actually heard that before. Like some people be like, oh my God, I could never build on a lot that big. And so they get scared by lot size. And for me, it's just a matter of I'm going to build as big as the lot is. That's pretty much what happens with me. I don't really get intimidated by lot size. It's just, I know the size of the build. However much I want to constrain myself is usually I go with smaller lots if I'm trying to constrain myself, because I won't build small if I'm on a big lot. It just doesn't happen. So I was trying to kind of constrain myself a little bit here with the 20 by 30 lot. This is built in what's that place called? Secret Hollow, Forgotten Hollow, something with a hollow. Forgotten Hollow, I think. I'm so bad with these names. Again, words just escape me. But I think it might be Forgotten Hollow. It's the one that came with the vampire pack, and so it's kind of darker and more spooky and all of that. And I have it set for the build. I have it set to the brightest setting because everything in this is pretty much dark for the most part. So, and I wanted to be able to see. But if you turn down the lights a little, it starts to look more spooky. I did not light this up the way I usually light up my builds, just because it is a cemetery, and I wanted it to look darker and more spooky. So unlike the nightclubs and bowling alleys and stuff that I've done, it is not lit to the nines. Even at night, it's not. So here are two rich people, the wealthy people in the neighborhood that have died, and they're of historic significance. Obviously, we have little placards for them and everything, and then we have a couple of pictures of who they are. And if you want to make them be vampires, that's cool too. Or hell, you could just have vampires live there, couldn't you? Although the lot does not include anything that, nothing that you would be able to live on, really. It doesn't even have a bathroom, although I suppose you could put a bush in, but there's no living anything here besides the caskets that one could sleep in if one were a vampire. And that's about it. And so it only has a few graves on the outside. And those we're going to call this cemetery. We're going to say this is cemetery in general is a historic kind of cemetery. It's like a cemetery for important people. So there are some historic important people that are buried on the left side, and then there's the town's founder that you're going to see that's buried on the left side, and then there's the wealthiest people in the town in the thing in the center, and then the urns down below would also contain more important, wealthier people in the town. So it's kind of the vibe that I was going for with this cemetery, is that because it's so small, we're going to call it kind of like an exclusive cemetery of sorts. So you've got to be someone to be buried here. Do we have anything like that in real? I guess there's some. We do have Arlington National Cemetery in the United States, and I'm sure there's some in other countries too, where you kind of have to be someone to be buried there. So that's kind of the thing with this one. And it's cute. I mean, for a cemetery, it's cute. How cute can cemeteries be? But so this statue thing is in the game. I think it's actually called the founder statue. But my idea was that this is someone that's very important for the town that died. So it can be the town founder, or if you have a better idea on who's important in the town that died. But so he gets kind of a special tributary grave area, and obviously people come and they leave flowers and stuff because he's important. But let's see, what else can I tell you about this? Not too much. We're coming kind of close to the end. There isn't too terrible much left. It is a pretty small build. 20 by 30 lot isn't that much. I end up putting in some more benches, just a little bit of landscaping. I tried to go heavier on the landscaping, but I don't know. I felt like I was getting too much, I guess. It needed to be a little bit more simple. When I started adding things in a little bit more, it started to look like it was getting too much. I can kind of go over the top on things like, I don't know, nightclubs and bowling alleys and things like that. You can kind of go over the top a little bit more, but I think for something like a cemetery, it was better that I go a little bit more conservative, I think, on the build. And so I did. I went a little bit more subdued and took away all the extra flowers and different things that I did. Because I did. It started to look over the top-ish a little bit. And so we have our basement area. And I was also kind of thinking, if someone wants to, this basement area could really be expanded out, and you could make this cemetery into something more. You could make a full-blown crypt down here or something if you wanted to. But again, I was just going for kind of a smaller build. I just wanted to do sort of a quaint cemetery, and I was more concerned with what was up top and how it looked up top than down here. But I thought it might be nice to make a room, because we do have in parts of the United States, we have places where urns are stored, rooms, inside where urns are stored and things like that. And so I thought it would be kind of cool to make an area like that, I couldn't make it the way it is in the US, and at least what I've seen, I haven't spent a whole lot of time in these places really, to be honest with you. But at least from what I have seen, it's kind of like basically you're just looking at a wall and there's a lot of squares with names on them. And I wasn't really able to do that here. And honestly, it wouldn't really look like too much either if I did that. But that's the way they have it here, is just kind of squares with names on them. And then I guess the ashes or the urns or whatever are inside. So this one here, obviously you're going to be able to actually see the urns and the ashes. Or well, not the ashes, but you'll be able to see the urns. And I guess my thought is that most urns would have like a little placard thing engraved on the urn that says who it belongs to and all of that. So if people come to visit their family members down here, that they can see from the urns who's in what and who's where. And so that's kind of my thought. And I just put, all the urns up and then a little bit of seating area. And just kind of make a little bit of a display out of it, and a kind of area where people could just sit and sort of contemplate and I don't know, think about their loved ones or whatnot like that. So not the most, uplifting build I've ever done. If you want uplifting, like go look at the Rainbow Hearts Cafe or something like that. If after you get done with this video and it's too morose and too downtrodden because it is a cemetery, then yeah, go look at one of my happier builds. I recommend the either the Rainbow Hearts Cafe or the Toyland. Both of those bright, colorful, cheery builds. So if this one is too dark and morose, go see those. They will make you happy. At least I hope. Fingers crossed. But yeah, nonetheless, so that was kind of my thought here. So I wanted a couple of cute buildings, a little bit of a cemetery that looked a little bit like the ones that I've seen, kind of a cross of stuff that I've seen in New Orleans, and I've seen similar type cemeteries with the things at the top. Where else have I seen that? I think it was at Costa Rica, somewhere else that I was at that I've seen things like that too. So that was kind of what I had in mind. So nonetheless, this is our little cemetery, and I hope you guys like it. And we're getting close to the end. We are going to any second now run into screenshots and all that. So I am going to bid you adieu and say thank you very much for joining me today for this cute little build. And I hope you like it. Maybe add it to your game or whatnot. And if you do, please do hit the like button. And if you are not yet subscribed, please do hit that subscribe with the little bell so you get notified of my releases. And if you're unaware too, if you're new to the channel or if you typically just watch my builds, I've just started a Let's Play as well. So if you find those interesting at all, give it a whirl. And I think that's about it for now. I hope to see you all again next time. Bye now.